Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. You're looking at Lou's M38 engine here. We're just about finished up with Lou. He's going in the test stand next. I've got his generator on, and he is fully assembled and painted and stuff. I did not like the condition of the oil filter. This is not your standard oil filter. This is the Kuno. Where you kind of twist it and that gets rid of the debris, and then you drain it out that bottom plug there. I'll show you how that works. I could still get those easily new old stock, and it's not a bad setup, but I didn't like the condition of your top part there, Lou, so we're going to change that out. Intake and exhaust is on, new oil pump, and belts and everything are on. So this guy's going to get run next. Let's go over here, and it is finally time for some AMC work. Two 258s here. This one belongs to Scott, and this one, after a long time, this one's going in my CJ7, and I'm building this one kind of radically, so this one should go real nice. So there's two of them here, and we'll get on those next. Okay, let's come over here to Gary. Gary, that rear end was a disaster. Somebody had been in there and really screwed everything up. Not so much with the ring and pinion, but they had no idea what they were doing. They had the shims on the wrong side of the backing plate. They had everything messed up in there. Everything is straightened out now, and it is silky smooth. You've got 14 inch-pounds of rotational torque on that guy, and right around 6.5 to 7 thousandths backlash, so that's perfect. And you know your hubs were busted. That's those same guys that put the shims in the wrong place, put the key in backwards, so they busted your hubs. And the front end and the rear end has already undergone a 24-hour test with the pinion pointing down and diff lube in there, so no leaks on either one of them, and just about ready. I'm waiting on some studs for those hubs, and then you are finished. But you could see your very nice 11-inch brake setup. There's the drum on the front. I'm going to wait to put the drum on the back. But these will be headed back to you very soon, Gary. So just hang in there. They're on the way. Okay guys, we're taking a quick look in one of the containers. Steel has been arriving little by little. I've got my 54 pieces of truss material there for the top and bottom cord. I just got in my first batch of 80 lengths, 24-foot lengths for my, I'm building a Warren type truss, as you know, and those will go inside as the angle pieces. And here goes another little welding table for a friend of mine. But I've got another bundle of 80 coming in, and got miscellaneous stuff there that I'll need, but we're starting with 160 pieces for the inner web, and like I said, top and bottom cord right there. So if anybody's building anything with steel, steel is super economical right now. A few rolling mills have opened up again, and if you guys are doing anything with steel, now's the time. So got some more stuff over here that came in yesterday, and got some 5x5 here, and like I say, some other stuff. But now is the time to build with steel, so I'm getting everything I need because the price is so economical right now. It's hard to believe something is economical in this day and age, but let me tell you, steel is priced right now. Okay guys, time to start setting some core plugs. And as you know, I like to use brass all the time. And those are the core plugs for Scott's engine. Now take a look. Scott is a 1983. And usually on engines you have the 1, 2, 3 big guys. I'm not sure when. I think 81, but I can't be sure. They added these other two guys right here. So take a look at an 83 engine, core plug wise. And you get these two threaded plugs that go in, one here and one here. That's standard. And here is this is a late 79 motor. And you see we're missing those guys here, but we still have the other ones here. So it's not a big deal. There's no right or wrong way or anything. I just want to show you the difference. If you're quick looking at engines, you could easily tell an earlier engine from a later engine just by the core plug setup. Okay guys, just about to set the second one here. This is my sealer of choice, Permatex 51813. You see me use this on a lot of stuff. Hope you can see that okay. A little bit around the bore, a little bit on your cup, and I just have a little driver tool here. This is just a block for pulling differential bearings, but whatever works for you. And you don't have to go like crazy. Just get it started. And you want to go in kind of even. See, it's a little crooked. So we'll come over here. And we'll drive that guy in nice and even. And that will be a leak-free setup. A lot of guys, they take RTV and they put them on here and they set them in with RTV. That's not the best sealant you can use, so I don't use that. I use the Permatex, and I've never had one fail. So you can do what you like, but like I say, that's the best way to go, I think. And on the little ones, it's the same thing. A little bit on your cup, like that, and a little bit, I'll put a dab in there. Okay, I've just got an impact socket here that fits that perfect. And we'll drive that in until it's flush. And that's how we're going to set those in. Now, when you're going and you're buying your core plug set, like I say, when you get the set, these aren't included. Doesn't matter what set you get, nobody includes these little guys, so you're gonna have to get those separate. It's only like a $3 or $4 difference between a full brass cup and just a plain steel cup. The steel ones, I've seen them leak plenty of times. Usually it builds up a lot of crap in there, and the coolant never doesn't get to it, but a lot of times they'll start weeping, and it's kind of a pain when it's in the Jeep to change those, but it's only a few dollars more to get the brass, so I would recommend that, and I think everybody should have the brass ones in there and instead of the steel. You put them in, you won't have to think about them again. Okay guys, while we're on core plugs, we're going to get this head straightened out here with core plugs. There, you got little guys right here. 1, 2, and 3. Got that big guy in the back. And on that one, same thing. Now these I always see when I get engines in from other shops and stuff, they never change these. I don't know why they don't think they need to. They're super corroded. There's the first one out of there. They're super corroded. They're a little bit of a pain to come out, and I'll show you how I get them out, but they're a little bit of a pain to get out, so maybe that's why they don't change them. And you don't get this in any of the, if you get a core plug kit, you don't get these little guys. You got to go out and get them special. and especially if you want brass, sometimes they can be tricky to find. But let's get one of these guys out. Yeah, on the bigger plugs, you can sometimes drill a hole in them and pry them out. These are so little you can't really put a hole in them and dig them out. So you could put something in there and bang the whole thing in. I find a little chisel on the bottom. If you knock the bottom in, they come out easy. And you got to go after it sometimes with a magnet. But you can see the corrosion on that guy. And it's important on any rebuild that you change all the plugs. So just knock those in, and I'll show you what we're going to use. Obviously, we got the little brass guys because we're using brass throughout. And don't overlook changing these three, because eventually that's going to start seeping on you. Okay guys, since I'm working on the heads here, we've got all our core plugs in. It's going to probably be the last time I can show you the difference between a stock and a performance head. Okay, here are there's one intake and one exhaust valve right there. The same thing there. The stock exhaust, 1" 405. The intake, 1" 787 on a stock head. I cut all the seats, I lapped all the valves in, and got everything working just right. So we'll go over the performance head sizes next. Okay guys, now on the performance head I'm building, you got your intakes at 1" 941. You got your exhaust at 1" 504. Now this had to be machined, new seats put in there, and some guys say just put new seats in and don't do any porting. I find that you get much more performance from porting. Don't go crazy on the polishing. You want that crazy air coming through there. So that's how I do it. Bore for a seat, put the seat in, 3-angle valve job, normal from there. Okay, then the next thing I do, I take 60 thousandths off the head. That is going to kick up your compression a little bit. And remember, if we wanted something crazy, we would use a flat top piston, and you could you get your compression way up there. That's not what I'm shooting for, so we're not going to use a flat top piston. Okay, so there's the difference. I think you can see both of them. There's the difference in the valve size, and it makes a huge difference, and you'll feel the difference. You'll feel it right in the seat of your pants. So let's get these. Let's get this stock head assembled, and we'll figure some stuff out on that as far as valve seals. Okay, guys. Normally I like to use Felpro stuff on all my engine builds, and I've always been happy with Felpro stuff. On AMC 6s, I use two different kits. I use the Engine Tech kit and the Felpro kit. There's things I like out of both of them and things I dislike out of both of them. Now, I'm an Engine Tech distributor. I sell their products and stuff. Very good outfit. But I've always used Felpro and always liked them. Now, let's get this guy opened up. They do have a very nice head gasket. Nothing wrong with that. It's good. I don't mind using it when I know I've decked the block and the head. This is their valve stem seal. It's hard. They say that it's the best out there right now. I don't care for them especially, but let me show you the Engine Tech one. That's the one I do like. Okay, that's a squishy kind of one. And I'll kind of go over that and sit like that and we'll be okay. And this one will do the same thing, but it's sloppy. So this will just kind of bounce up and down with the valve. They're not really seals, they're more like shields, but I do prefer the black one better. Now on this particular head, I have an actual valve stem seal because I put guides in here. Now in factory head, the cast iron is your guide, so if that gets screwed up you got to bore and put a guide in there. Okay, I cut those stumps off. That'll press on there hard, and that'll actually be a valve stem seal. This is one of the most misunderstood pieces in an engine, how much engineering goes into that thing to let just the right amount of oil get through. A lot of time and effort goes into making valve stem seals. So that's what I'm using on that head, and I'm using the plastic ones on Scott's head. They're better. The gasket, they call this a fire seal gasket, and I think it works just a little bit better than the Felpro one. I never thought I would say that, but it does. In previous engines, it has performed better than the Felpro. So if you don't have the opportunity to necessarily do the machine work on your head and your block, for sure use this one. In a situation where everything is good, you know, it's easy to get by with this one. I know it'll seal good, but like I say, I still need two kits because I don't like the valve stem seals. Just a personal preference. Now, getting into springs, that is a stock 258 spring, and this guy is the beehive spring because it has a spring and a spring. That's the one that I'm using here. Now, they are both, let's get that guy out of the way, they're both the same height, and I'm going to show you how close they are on spring pressure next. So this is what you would use with the Chevy valve. You don't have to use the beehive. I just do because I like that one better. They're Chevy swirl tip valves, and they do make a tremendous amount of horsepower. So let's check out and see what the spring rate is on these guys. Okay, there's the factory spring set up in the spring tester, and I have a certain height already kind of with the stop, and so it's going to be exactly the same on both springs. We're going to pull this down to the stop, and I'm reading about 142. That is the stock spring. Okay, let's pull this guy down to the same stop. And I'm reading exactly 150. So you see how close they are. They're the same height and the same spring pressure, and it does that when it's a little bit compressed and a lock. You know, there's different spring depths that you take them to, and it's extremely close, and that is a perfect spring to use on a build like this. A lot of guys get that wrong, and if you have too high a spring pressure, you're going to wipe out your cam. I mean, there's no question about it. Let's pull that guy through again. Okay, that is the beehive spring, and here is the factory spring. So, just a few pound difference, won't make any bit at all. If we set our valves to the right height, which I'll show you another day, you'll see how nice that's going to work out. So, there's a lot into getting a 258 set up, whether it's stock or whether it's a high performance 258. So they're a little different than you see me do on the L and the F heads. They're a little bit simpler design. There's a lot of places you could make good choices and bad choices on these engines. So be very careful who your engine shop is when you're doing a 258. Okay guys, we're finally getting to assemble this cylinder head. I'm going to take you just through one of these so you see the products I use and what goes into it. Let's see, that is intake number 5. Let me just find intake 5. Okay. First thing we're going to do is lube up the stem. And this is the standard engine assembly lube that I use. Mr. Race Oil Engine Assembly Gel. I do sell this now. I got it on my lube list. Hasn't been real popular. Not a lot of guys have bought this, but a couple guys have. It's very good. It's a gel. Now that valve will sit in there and that won't run off like if I just put oil on there. So that keeps that very nice. Next thing we want to do is get a valve seal. Remember we talked about these guys here. Okay. I've got just a drinking straw with a taper on it. And we're just going to get that through the stem. My hands are kind of greasy, but we'll get that through the stem, and that'll protect it on the way down over the valve where the keepers go. Okay, it's kind of mangled up, but you can see we can get the valve in there. Okay, next thing we're going to do, again, is put some lube. This is extreme pressure lube. Put a little bit on the bottom. When that sits right there, any metal to metal contact, we want some of this lube on it. And we're also going to do that guy right there. Put a little bit of that around there. Now, even if you pre-lube your engine, you're not going to get any oil up to these guys. So, these surfaces, you want to have lubrication upon startup. Okay, we'll put that to the side. Take our valve that we lubed up already. See what I can see in there. Okay. We will put our drinking straw and seal over that, push it down, see how that protects it from the groove there. Got our lubed up spring with extreme pressure lube. I'm going to try and stay out of the way here. Okay, there is the spring compressed. And I use just a dab of the extreme pressure lube on the keeper. Just holds it in place. These keepers are tiny. So you got to kind of work them in there. Okay, I'm trying to stay out of the way. You just got to get that guy in there. I got a little pick. And we'll make sure it's seated in the groove. And we'll get this other guy, see if we can sneak it in back here. Okay, we'll release the handle, and there she goes. Now, critical thing about that is we're lubed everywhere. We're not going to have any dry surfaces upon startup. When the time comes and we get our rockers and everything on here, we're going to use the same stuff, extreme pressure lube, on every one of these valve tips. But for now, the valve is lubed, the spring is lubed, the retainers are lubed, everything has a coating of extreme pressure lube on it. And we're just going to go right through and set the rest of them. And same process the whole way there. But the lube in a cylinder head is critical. And I see so many scuffed valves and just springs that are broken and things like that just from lack of proper assembly. So don't be afraid to use the right products when you're assembling a cylinder head. Alright guys, I got Scott's cylinder head finished up. It came out very nice, very happy with that. It's in a bag right now, sitting on the shelf waiting for the rest of the motor to be done. Now this is that other one with the Chevy valves going in it. And when you follow the basic recipe of this, you're gonna put new seats in. Maybe you're gonna port and polish, maybe not. You're gonna put the Chevy swirl tip valves in there, and then whatever springs you choose, they're gonna want you to set the spring height at 1/750, 1 3/4 inch, and you can see the seats here. I did a little dressing on the seats to get the 1 3/4. Now I'm going to show you, we're just going to pick a random valve. I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got exhaust number 4 right here. Let me see if I can get it in there. Okay, hang in there with me. Now, I'm going to take a tool like this. This is your spring height gauge. This is a little bit bigger one. Got a smaller one here. We're just gonna, it's got a scale on it, and we're just gonna put that there. We'll stick our retainer on there, and get our keepers on there. Now, when they say set your spring height at 1/750, don't drive yourself crazy and try and split hairs. Okay, you've got a little bit of a range here. I mean, if you could keep everything within 10 or 20 thousandths, you're still fine. You're going to have a good running engine. And we're just going to screw that down until we hit the base there. Let's get our scale out there. Okay, we just stopped right there, so there's no up-down movement. A valve's not moving. And this is a direct reading tool, so let me try and get you in there and you can see we are there's the 7, and I think you can see the 50 there. That's 1/750, perfect. And like I say, you can dress, you can get a seat dresser that you could just use in a machine or in a hand drill, and you can just tickle these seats, you know, measure them, and if you have to, just tickle them a little bit deeper. And I've got all these guys within a few thousandths, so I'm super happy with that. And we'll just we'll go with that. Now we know we could set our valves in there. They're going to be at the right height. The spring rate's going to be good, and that's how you do it. You get one of these little guys, and you can read your direct spring height that you want to set your spring right off this tool. So it's a good handy tool to have. Okay guys, trying to make some good progress on that scrambler. I've got a Dana 300 apart here for Scott. His original one was full of water, mud, rust, and it didn't spin right. It was just a disaster. He brought me another one, and this one somebody has been in here before and made a mess of a few things, but I finally have everything apart. Bearings are bad, and other than that, you know, they just messed up the handles there, the shift rods, and we're going to put a dual handle shifter on this, and we're going to take the detents out, and you know, we'll probably get a lot of comments because we're deleting the interlocks in there, so you can get too low on this transfer case. And it's kind of the same thing when I do them with the Dana A-teams that I rebuild. It seems like people are going to tell me the world's going to end because you got too low on your transfer case. So too low is not a terrible thing. Comes in handy sometimes. And you know, if it's not for you, don't take your interlocks out. But I'll show you guys how it shifts when we have it back together. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on the 300s. They seem to be some of my least popular videos, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about how I set them up. But it is a part, and I've got the case in the cleaning tank, and we'll get it back together soon. So I got some body parts in for Scott as well. Let's go take a peek at those next. Okay guys, just trying to round out this video and call it quits for the day, but I wanted to show you Scott's body parts for his scrambler. Complete front floor assembly, and see if you can see that. I don't know. These are Mopar approved parts. This is a Mopar vendor. There's a lot of junk stuff out there, so be careful. This is a very nice reproduction. All the channels are underneath on the bottom, and I think that's going to be nice. Let's go around here. There's a tail light panel we need to replace. There's the replacement. Same gauge stuff, and I just can't get you in there. Oh, there you go. Mopar approved vendor right there. So you know, they're good quality parts, and I'm sure they're going to go in here just nice. That floor is going to save a lot of time and effort. And got some toe boards. They did a very nice job on these. As you know, let's take a walk over to the front here. When they mangled this front floor, they removed that whole toe board assembly, which should look like that. So I'm going to change them both, and we're just going to start tearing this guy apart and making stuff happen. So there's a lot going on. Things are coming in for a lot of different projects. I'm putting in roughly 12 to 14 hour days now trying to catch up. So you know, I'm still getting a lot of guys saying they want to bring stuff in. I just don't have the time or the manpower to do that. So I'm trying to catch up with everything right now, and the days just seem to go on forever. So we're going to wrap this up, and I'll catch you tomorrow. And not sure what's going on tomorrow, but I think I have some material coming in, and we could get some axle shaft stuff going on. I can make a sample of that. We can start cutting this floor out and get that 300 back together, and I will continue on with the 258 builds. So a lot going on. I hope you guys like a variety of stuff, because there's just everything going on right now. And I'm going to call it quits here. And thanks for watching as always, and see you on the next one.